Hello and welcome to Talking Gamers. Just finished Wolves 2, West Ham United 0. Normal service has resumed. Where do we start, Gonzo? I suppose we could start with the goal. Wolves scored in the first half. Set piece again. I think we conceded 2 set pieces up there last season. We conceded again from it tonight. Corner came in and Dendonker got the better of Ryan Fredericks, or Ryan Fredericks didn't bother, depends how you look at it. Nice header, 1-0 Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, he was too strong and too smart for Fredericks. Martin would have been disappointed because I think he would have felt that he'd done well, to concede the corner in that sense. He would have felt that, again, feeling his way into the game. Clearly, he was wrong-footed for the goal, but it was all too easy, and you could see Fredericks' frustration immediately after. Fredericks knew what he'd done wrong, but there was nothing he could do about it. As I say, the guy positioned his body intelligently. He was too big, too strong, and even Fredericks, as quick as he is, wasn't able to run around the other side and get the correct side of the defender. So whatever he was playing in defence, wasn't he, today, Dendonker? But easy goal, really, mate.
I think Fredericks did quite a lot wrong there, actually, and there was plenty he could have done. Getting goal side for a start would have given an advantage. I think he was too bothered about his man rather than watching where the ball was coming from, almost. And then when he realised where the ball was, it was too late. He was already beaten, because like you said, once Dendonker was in that area, there was no way of getting back to him, so it was poor from Fredericks. And then for the rest of the first half, really, we're going to skip to half time because it's the whole Pellegrini thing we're going to have to discuss at the end. But Martin made a good save. I think it was from your side. Martin made a good save, and Fornals forced a good save out of Patricio at the other end. But at half time, Gonzo, it was 1-0 Wolves. But what were you thinking?
We're not going to score a goal, was what I was thinking. And most games, I think we're not going to score a goal, because we just don't threaten enough. But you hope, and I thought, actually, whilst we're in this, and whilst it's 1-0, there's something going to happen. And you spoke about the Fornals one. It was a lovely interchange with him and Anderson. But it would have been a goal of the month contender. But it does seem to, it feels to me that we've got to score a goal of the month contender if we're going to score. I never felt at any point that somebody is going to get to the byline, pull it back, and Heller was going to tap it in, or pick and choose whatever your standard average goal might be. We're never going to score an average goal. It would have to be something spectacular. I just didn't feel that we ever threatened their goal enough, which is obviously a regular thing that I'm saying on these reviews,
Yeah, Wolves scored 2 regular average goals during the game, if you like, but I know what you mean. We didn't feel like we were going to score one of them. Do you know, at half time, I thought we were playing all right. I thought we were playing well enough. I thought defensively, I thought we were very well organised. Traore is clearly, they kept giving it to him at every time, and I thought Creswell, who was, obviously pace-wise, has got no competition. I thought we were getting out there to cover Creswell quite well. I thought Fornals was dropping deep enough, quick enough to help him. I thought Rice was going over there to cover him quite a lot as well. Whenever Creswell went forward, Rice was almost taking up the role of left back if need be, because a couple of times Traore got him broken. Rice was in there putting in a good couple of tackles. So I thought defensively we looked pretty solid. I thought midfield we looked okay, but the problem is in the final third there wasn't really much happening. And one player in particular I thought was really disappointing in the first half, but we'll get on to individual players at the end. I thought we were okay, just okay, but I don't think it was bad. Then in the second half, Martin made a really good save, 1-on-1 from Jota this time. Stood his ground well. Snodgrass, Robert Snodgrass, you've absolutely got to take these chances, haven't you?
It was easy, but I'd tell you, I don't know who you're going to say. I would imagine you're going to say Snodgrass later when you talk about individual players. Nothing he did came off today. I thought it was awful, actually. And that was indicative. And I actually let my son stay up later as a bit of a treat. I'm nice parenting, or maybe they'll call social services, make my son watch that. But I would already. There was a couple of times when Snodgrass's touch had let him down. He kept on passing it to the opposition. Then there was one bit where he just run into somebody, and we laughed. It was comedy. It was Keystone Cops. It was silly, really. It was a bit of Benny Hill or whatever the modern equivalent is. And then almost straight away after, he ran into somebody again. And I knew when Fornals put that wonderful ball over. No. 3 touches. Not at this level. Sorry. And he's got a bit of a problem now, Pellegrini. You're going to want to go and discuss, because actually what has made us more resolute is having someone with Snodgrass's industry in there, because he just works so hard and he snaps at people's heels. But unfortunately, he's just not got any. Well, particularly today, he didn't have any quality. Even his corners, and the first 2 corners he took, he didn't beat the first man, I think. So all round, it was a bad game for him. I wasn't surprised when he missed that chance, you know.
Wolves did make it 2-0 though. It was a funny old game. Pellegrini started to throw stuff a little bit at Wolves. He brought on Nathan Holland, got his Premier League debut. He took off Mark Noble. Sir Anderson was almost playing centre midfield by the time Wolves got their second. Yarmolenko come onto the pitch, and you thought, right, okay, we're starting to go for it. He was trying to risk it, and I had a feeling there was another goal in the game, but I thought, who's it going to be to? Because we were far too open, and I thought, this is just suiting Wolves here. Wolves like to counter-attack, and every time we did a substitution, I thought, well, this sub actually suits Wolves more than it does West Ham, despite the fact that West Ham making the sub, and that's not a good sign. But their second goal, Yarmolenko, he lost the ball, and then as soon as he lost it, there was only one thing happening really. Wolves come flying down that left. Ogbonna gets his toe to the ball, but then I think it was Jimenez, he just lays off Cutrone in, he just puts it away. 2-0 Wolves, game, set, match, and good night West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't generate the power. Unfortunately, Rice tried really hard to get back as well and put the guy under pressure. Ogbonna actually positioned himself well, and as you say, got his foot to it, but because he was stretched, there was just no power into it. So whilst it was a good interception clearance, it was a good interception, wasn't a good clearance, because he wasn't able to project the ball far enough up the pitch. Goal, he finished it, tidily. So game over at that point, particularly so late in the game. I for once, I thought Pellegrini was going to do something. I was obviously delighted that Nathan Holland came on. I've been waiting for a long time for that boy's Premier League debut, and I was a bit worried Pellegrini had gone into himself, particularly off the back of him bringing Rice, very much making Rice established player in the team, and what he did with DM Garner. I just wondered if he'd sort of retreated into himself and forgotten about how he was with the youth. Of course, he gave Ben Johnson his debut against Manchester City, didn't he, last season as well? So I was really pleased to see that he brought Holland on, because he could have done other things then, and he didn't. And so I thought, yeah, okay, that's great. When I saw a Jetty warming up, I thought, oh, okay, again, this is what we're going to do. You're going to go with the 2 up front rather than protect. It still felt, I know what you're saying about the substitutions he made, but they were still like for like. We were still playing with one striker. It still felt to me like Pellegrini was trying to protect the 1 goal loss rather than trying to make it 1-1 or trying to win the game. So, it's hard even to be angry about it, Gio, I've got to say. It's a tough one, actually.
It is, because in the preview you said 2-0 Wolves, and I said 2-1 Wolves, and when you always get what you're expecting, it is difficult to really be emotionally furious. And we've seen a lot worse performances from West Ham this season, but it still doesn't mean we're good. Just because you're better than absolutely awful doesn't mean that you were anything good. But it finished 2-0. I mean, where's it gone wrong tonight for you, Gonzo?
I feel they had more quality than us. I actually thought, I wouldn't go as far as say we were good in the first half. I thought we started well in the first 10 minutes. And then we'll talk about individual players, as you say, but I thought there were things, there were some players that played well today, and we had certain qualities that went in our favour. But it feels like baby steps from Pellegrini. So we got the more solid back line, if you like, against Chelsea. I think we saw that again today. A little baby step, a little improvement, and it incrementally it's too slow and it's too little each time, and yet he couldn't play Antonio for whatever reason. Understandable, he's just come back from injury, so he plays Haller. And then what we found ourselves with is exactly the same problem that we've had in the 5 or 6 games previously where Haller started, which he's just completely isolated up front, and it's almost as if we're going to have to wait a period of time for Pellegrini to realise that that's not working either, and then maybe a little baby step he might fix that as well, and it's just all so slow. we have no surprises in us. We have no surprise tactically. I never feel the tactics. The tactics are just slow. They're ponderous, and we are reliant on individuals pulling us out the game. I never feel that any. If you watch Sheffield United play, the people are overlapping, underlapping, cutting inside. There's just everyone's busy. There's something going on, and you feel that there's a pattern that they're trying to achieve, and they're trying to get up the pitch in a way that's. I'm not particularly predictable, but you can see what's happening. I just never feel that. I never feel we have any flow. If that's the right word, we don't have any flow or rhythm to our game. I never feel like we're going anywhere, and I don't feel that Pellegrini's got his finger on what's going wrong.
I don't think we have urgency. That's what I feel we're lacking. When we get the ball and there's opportunities to counter attack, most teams would counter attack, but for some reason we just take 2 or 3 touches and play the safe pass all the time, and it just frustrates the life out of me. But then you look at it and think, well, how can we counter attack when we've got no pace in the team? The thing is, I think we've almost sorted the defensive side a little bit. I thought defensive was a bit more solid, but that you then solely rely on scoring first in the game, because if you concede first, your blueprint, your game plan is bang in trouble, because you're basing your game on being defensively solid, winning 1-0 essentially. It worked to Chelsea because we scored first and we were able to defend a 1-0 lead. If you concede first, you're bang in trouble, because it's a case of what are you going to do? And our answer is, well, nothing. We're going to continue to play like it's 0-0, but it's not 0-0, we're 1-0 down. And the other team are thinking, well, you keep playing like that then, because it suits us too. And when we did change it, which is when the subs started occurring, we started to come away from the defensively solid thing, it just suits the opposition even more, because now we're opening up. Now we're giving them, instead of having 15 yards behind our defence, there's 25 yards behind our defence, and the other team are thinking, lovely, we'll have a little bit of this, thank you very much. And I know you're talking about Pellegrini's substitutions where he's putting on attacking players in Holland and that, and you were saying you're disappointed not to put the second striker on. I wasn't even at that point. I was not bothered who he took on for him, because I was looking at him when he did the subs. He took off Noble. I thought, hang on a minute now. You've now got Yarmolenko, Holland, Anderson, and Fornals all on the pitch. They're still not creating anything. It doesn't matter who you have. You could literally have Mbappe up front, and I think he'd still struggle to score. We've got all these players, and then whenever Wolves got the ball and they start running at us, we've got Declan Rice, bless him, running around thinking, how the hell am I meant to do this when the 4 in front of me are not knowing for their defensive qualities? It's just, I thought we played okay in the first half, but I'll tell you something, in the second half I was very disappointed how we played in the second half, actually, because I thought, right, we've got an opportunity. Pellegrini's got 15 minutes to change something, 15 minutes to inspire them, and 15 minutes to come out as an attacking team and try and get something from this game. Because Wolves, while they deserved the win, they weren't anything beatable in the first half. I wasn't sitting at half time thinking, wow, this Wolves team are 10 out of 10 tonight. They didn't even have to be 10 out of 10 to win that game tonight. But we came out in the second half, and I thought we were worse. I thought we were worse in the second half than in the first one. I thought, how is this possible now? There was one moment of inspiration from Pablo Fornals with that pass for Snodgrass, but that's what we're relying on. You can't rely on that, because he's not good enough. Fornals is not good enough to do that every single game. That's why he's at West Ham and not at Manchester City. You're okay if you're Man City. You can wait for Kevin De Bruyne, knowing that at some point he is going to play a pass that's going to split defence open. Liverpool are playing tonight, and Sadio Mane just did that pass where all Origi had to do was touch it, and then he literally took the defender and the keeper, right? The game just rolled into an empty net because the pass was so good. We don't have players that can do that every single game. We rely on teamwork, we rely on game plans, we rely on strategy, and today it was almost like waiting for Fornals or Anderson to produce something, but they've not produced it all season, so I don't know why all of a sudden they're going to produce it at the Molineux. It's just very, very frustrating tonight, because it's not as bad. It's not as bad as Burnley. It's not as bad as Sheffield United. I think, even though we got a point against Sheffield United, I thought it was roughly the same performance. It's not as bad as Newcastle, but this is almost what it's come to. You get beat 2-0, you think, oh well, at least we didn't get smashed. And there is positive performances tonight. There is some players I thought played well. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. Southampton have just won tonight, okay, so they've now won their last 2 games. they're going to be licking their lips at West Ham walking up at Southampton in a couple of weeks as well. Arsenal have got their game tomorrow night. If they win, they'll be looking forward to coming to London Stadium. And games before Christmas are running out, and Christmas is the time when you look at the table and roughly that's where everyone's going to finish. It's not good. Individual performances, take your pick. There's one guy in particular.
I thought. Yeah, I thought. Well, I mean, it's easy to pick on a negative. I pick on a positive. I thought. Well, Anderson looks more comfortable in the middle. I thought he had. I like the way he turns. I like the way he drives. A lot of what he tried was coming off today as well. Unfortunately, he didn't have. It's just no one up front, is there? Basically, for him to pass through or do anything. But I thought that was one of Anderson's better games. I was pleased to see it, particularly in the first 10 minutes. Would turn, he would get the ball when he would drive, and he was running into space, and he was committing defenders like that. I thought early on, Balbuena, his passing from the back was brilliant. I thought he was really good. I thought Bonner actually had another really good game as well. I thought Cresswell did okay as well today. And I thought Fornals again put in another shift, and he had 2 moments of quality from within the game as well. I think those are the good players. I said Rice. I say Rice. What Rice played. I thought he kept on giving the ball away in the first half, by the way, but he then grew into it. And whilst he wasn't as good as he was at Chelsea, I thought he finished the game quite strongly. Martin made 2 or 3 saves. He's going to be disappointed though because he conceded a couple of goals. So that's the who I thought came out with credit. I thought Fredericks lacks control. He lacks basic technique.
Did you see that one? Did you see that one in the first half when he had the ball? There was no one around him. He just had the ball and he kicked it about 7 yards when he was dribbling. He had to run full after, and literally he then booted it off the Wolves player and it ricocheted off him whenever Wolves thrown. I was like, this is not quite Enner Valencia running over the ball, but it's not far off it. He had about 10 yards of pitch ahead of him, and he managed to kick the ball 11 yards. And I thought, how have you managed that? How have you actually managed to lose control of the ball in this? But anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, there was that, and his first to touch is poor as well. So that was bad. I thought Snodgrass was atrocious. I really did. It was bad, and I feel bad for even saying it. He probably don't watch this anyway, does he? But because he's so committed and because he clearly has taken a club to his heart, I feel bad saying it. But he was awful. Him running into the bloke has epitomised the way he played, probably even more than the 3 touches he took before he didn't score the goal. So that was that. I thought it was almost pointless having Sebastian Haller up there because I don't. It reminds me of Chicharito. Actually, we bought Chicharito and stuck him on the wing. But why do we do that? Why do we buy him?
He needs to do more, Gonzo. He's the one player that frustrated me tonight. Sebastian Haller. He really, really frustrated me in that first half. I wanted to jump into the TV and throttle him sometimes because the ball. There's only so many times we can say lack of service and stuff, and I'm not saying the service is good enough, but there was times Cresswell put crosses in, he wasn't there. He was there, but he wasn't moving. He was just watching it, and there was a couple of times the passing was going, and it's very disheartening to play football with someone where the passing is quite slow and ponderous, but when you do start getting quick passing together and you give it to someone, he loses it or he takes 3 touches, and Haller was that person in the first half. I thought. In the second half earlier on, he did one. Anderson gave it to him. He sort of backed into Cody. He turned, got fouled, free kick on the halfway line. Thought fantastic. But then that was all he did for the whole second half until he got subbed off. But he's got to do more. Like, we've replaced Antonio. Now, he's not the same type of player as Antonio, okay? But that's where Pellegrini has to be saying to Haller, I know that you're not that player, but that's what I need you to do. I need you to play like Antonio because you've been playing like Haller the last few weeks and it's not been working. I've had to drop you. You now need to be a bit more Antonio. We took Antonio out because he's injured, put Haller in. Instead of seeing 45, I mean, this guy was 45 million. He's not 4.5 million. He has to be able to adapt his game. As much as we need to adapt our game for him, he's got to adapt his game. Okay, how many times you can't have players that can only play one role that costs 45 million. You look across our team, sometimes Creswell will become a wing back, he'll be a left back. We've played him left centre back sometimes. He has to adapt, and Allier's got to do the same. I just don't think he does enough. In the first half, he was our poorest player on the pitch in the first half, in my opinion. The attacks were breaking down, and when the ball was getting forward, he wasn't where he was meant to be. And at one point, he came and got it, and the commentator said, "Oh, this is what he does. He drops deep and gets it." And I was like, "Yeah, but now he's level with Mark Noble, and he just passed to Declan Rice." I thought, what's the point in that, though? I'd rather he was where he was meant to be, and that was up front. He's just.
I think you've got it. I think you've hit someone. You've got it wrong, but in getting it wrong, you've hit the nail on the head. We absolutely do have a player who costs 45 million but can only do one thing. That's what we have. That what you said about him going out and adding other things to his game and pulling out wide. He is not going to do that. He is not quick enough. He is not athletic enough, and I also don't think he's got the drive to do that. For us to get the best out of him, we are going to have to play him how he was played at Frankfurt. And if we can't, and we're not going to do that, it begs the question: why on earth did we sign the bloke? Because if you look at his look at I don't even mean YouTube. Look at the Bundesliga season summary. Look at all that sort of stuff from last season. It honestly looks like a different.
Well, I know how he plays, but in the first half, early on, the goal kick went out, and he stood still and watched the defender win it next to him.
But I thought he had actually looked. I think that was him trying.
Well, it's not. He needs to try harder then, because we've just seen against Chelsea every single player putting in a 100% effort. Okay, everyone was working their bollocks off against Chelsea. We come tonight, we've got a striker who was putting in 50% effort at most. He's not doing enough. Like, I was delighted to sign him. Listen, when he arrived, the first few games of the season, I was thinking, beautiful, he's hit the ground running, because he was really good. His first touch was excellent. He was winning everything. He was linking up well. Tonight, Felipe Anderson was as close to second striker as we've played all season, in my opinion.
Yes,
Felipe Anderson was a proper number 10. He wasn't that far away. Quite often we would clear it, and he was near the halfway line, Anderson. He wasn't coming back very much. I thought, okay, this is interesting. And I agree with you. I thought Anderson had his best game in a while. I seen him taking players on. He was drifting left to right on the pitch. I thought, this is good from Anderson. But that's, unless we actually play a Yeti up front alongside him, which is unlikely, that's as good as it's going to get for Aller. He's got to be able to work with Felipe Anderson as the second striker. Do I think he's getting enough service? No. But I don't think he's getting no service. I think he's getting some of it. He's just unless it falls into his lap. I
don't think he's getting any service in the box.
We did put crosses in. Nathan Holland came on the pitch and put a cross in. He's standing still and watched it got cleared. He's getting crosses. He has to. I don't know
what to say. I listed 5 people I thought played well. I listed 5 on people I thought played badly, and he was in the group that I thought played badly. So, but I don't. Look, he ain't going anywhere, and no. I think there's a bigger issue here, which which we need to look at, which is I think pretty much everybody we sign gets worse once we sign them, and I
still am excited. I still think he's a damn good player, and I'm really glad he's at West Ham. I'm just that's probably why I'm so frustrated. That's why Snodgrass I look at tonight. I'm not that bothered by it, because I don't think he played well. I agree with you. His performance was a bit stinky, but that's a Snodgrass performance though, isn't it? He works hard, he just doesn't have the quality. So I'm not that fussed about Snodgrass. That's what he is. But with Sebastian Haller, I know there's so much more to come from him, and it's just frustrating to watch.
But I think that's what he is. I think that's what he is. I think when the going gets tough, that's what you're getting with him. I think that's what he is, Gio. I think when everything's right and he's got a strike partner and the coach is playing towards his style, I think you're getting someone else. I think when the going gets tough, you are not going to get a Snodgrass work rate from him. You're not going to get an Antonio work rate from him. Absolutely not. I just don't see it. I do. I looked at him today and I thought he is trying. It's almost like he watched Antonio and thought, oh, hold on, I better run around a little bit more here. And I think he did. Was he running around as much as anyone else? No, he wasn't. I think he's very, very laid back by the looks of it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think for many games I can sympathise with him, like Burnley and Spurs. I can look at him and think, you know what, he's got nothing to go tonight. But tonight I felt like we were getting some crosses in, and listen, they're not bang on the money, but that's where you put the ball in. Your striker's got to do something. Your striker's got to move for it and anticipate it and stuff. And he wasn't doing any of that. I was just so disappointed tonight, because tonight I thought we had a bit of a game plan in terms of trying to get the ball out wide and get crosses in. I've seen more crosses tonight than I have any other game this season, I think. I could go look it up. I could be proving correctly. I could be proving right. I don't know. I'll maybe look up tomorrow. But I felt like we were trying to get the ball out wide in the box, and it just wasn't working. Other individual performances for me, I thought Yarmolenko was awful. He was really
terrible.
He was really bad, Yarmolenko. We talk about Haller not looking interested. This geezer didn't look interested at all. He didn't even look interested when he's warming up, I've noticed. He's just a bit, I don't know. Who do we have in left? Fornals. I thought Fornals was really good again. I like his movement. I really like this boy. I'm aware I'm banging the drum, and if he gets sold in the summer for £10 million, he's been crap. Everyone's going to come and say told you so. I appreciate that, but I do think that boy's got so much talent. Works really hard, moves really well. There's a lot more to come from him. I thought Felipe Anderson had his best game for a while, as you said. He was taking players on. I thought Noble was okay in the first half, good in the first half. Second half he was really sloppy. He kept getting the ball away continuously for about 5 minutes, and I don't blame Pellegrini for taking him off, but we completely lost all structure when we took Noble off pitch. Thought Rice played well enough. Thought Creswell did okay. I felt a bit sorry for him up against Traore. When you've got someone like Traore running at you, what are you going to do? Thought Ogbonna played really well, really well. Thought Balbuena did okay. Could have done more for the second goal that Wolves got, I think, but he did well. Fredericks. Do you know when we're getting linked to right backs, sometimes you think, surprised we're prioritising that position. Then you see a performance like tonight, you think, right, I can see why we're prioritising that position. He's a good backup right back, but he's never going to be. I thought David Martin did well. He's done nothing wrong. I'll tell you something though, I'll make a prediction. Next time we're winning a game, whatever that may be, David Martin's going to get booked soon for time wasting. That keeper knows. He was time wasting at 1-0 down. Wolves fans were booing him to hurry him up at 1-0 down. I was thinking, what are you doing? You're just taking time. But anyway, let's wrap this up. What's your final words, please, Gonzo? What's your final words?
I've had enough, really, to be honest with you. I don't mean I've had enough supporting West Ham or anything like that. I looked at it. There was a point during the game, and I thought, you know what, we're probably going to be all right. I reckon we might be able to finish 15th, 16th this season. And I caught myself as I thought it. But what's that? Why? What's the point? Exactly is the point.
I think we just lost Gonzo there. If you give me 1 second, I'm going to go get Gonzo back, okay? If you just give me 1 second, I will ring Gonzo now on Skype. We'll get him back. So drop the connection there. Don't worry, I know what the last thing you guys heard was from Gonzo, because I was struggling to hear him for the last few seconds. So when he's come back on, we'll hear what he was trying to say. But I think he was complaining about finishing 15th or 16th in the league. I'm not too sure. Just bear with me 1 second. He's trying to ring me and I'm trying to ring him. Yo, you're back.
Oh, we're still live. You did well. Where
we're still live. You're going to have to.
Had I started singing, or did I cut out before?
You cut out before. Basically, we heard you saying about during the game. You were thinking we'll finish 15th or 16th, and then.
Yeah, and then I caught myself and I thought, what am I thinking? You know, what's the point? I find it really hard to get excited about everything. Even the cup draw, I wasn't excited about because we know what team is going to come out. We know what we're going to put out, and I just feel that like the joy has been sucked out of West Ham at the moment. I find myself not even looking forward to the next game, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, Geo. I've got to be honest. I am going to be honest. You know my situation for weekday games. I'm looking now. I think actually quite pleased. They've moved it to a Monday. You know, Mrs. is working. I can't go. Do you know what? I think I feel like, and it's me, of course. I feel like I need an injection of something to get me interest back up. I need something from the club. I need something from the team, something from the manager. Just a bit of promise. It did me well seeing Nathan Hollands today, because I thought, oh, okay, well that's good. I hope he's then involved in the next game as well, because that would be really nice to see. It's tough, Gio. I'm worried. I wanted us to beat Chelsea. I was delighted with a win. I'm worried that it may have put us back in terms of, it makes a false dawn. Maybe they were looking at other replacements for manager, and now,
we're in manager limbo, aren't we? We're in manager limbo.
Yeah.
This is what we predicted a couple of weeks ago after the Spurs game. We said we can't keep him because this is going to happen. He's going to eventually win a game, then you can't sack him anymore. And tonight, I don't think the performance was that bad that it's a sackable performance. I think he has
to lose his next 2 games, up for him to get sacked, which we don't obviously want because we're back down. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, you know what's going to happen? We're going to beat Arsenal, then we're going to go to Southampton away and get walloped, and then we're just going to keep on doing this cycle until the end of the season. It smells of Slaven Bilic's London Stadium season. Threats. 3 games. You've got 3 games. But in that 3 games, he'll win one of them, and it'll almost reset his 3-game thing. It's manager limbo. It's not good for anyone. It's not good for Pellegrini. It's not good for the team. It's not good for the fans. It's not good for anyone. Nobody wins with manager limbo. But anyway, sorry, final words, or is that you wrapped up?
No, that's it, mate. That's it, really.
Yeah, that's it from me as well. Another disappointing night, but not necessarily a unexpected one. Wolves deservedly won, and I don't think they had to play top gear either to win the game, which is probably the worst thing about it. It is what it is. Anyway, myself and Gonzo will be back later this week, probably Friday night, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to discuss it. We've got the preview for Arsenal coming up. We'll try and do another video in between as well. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Sorry for Gonzo disappearing, but you can't really blame him after watching it. I felt like disappearing as well at some point. Anyway, subscribe if you're new around here, and we'll see you in a bit. Take care.